Ramos will leave the club. Of course, at the end of his contract, it was an emotional press conference to say where he was given the opportunity to say goodbye to his fans. The big question now is where the free agent will end up. I thought I'd do some research, Ali, which I know is a rare thing for me, and I thought, right, I wonder how you got on against Sergio Ramos for Juventus. Do you remember?
Yeah, many times.
You've scored 3 goals in 2 games, from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I have a really good time sometimes, a really bad time against Real Madrid. But he was part of this journey, and you represent a lot Madrid in the last decade.
When we talk about great defenders, is he up there? Is he up there as a world-class defender? Will history remember him as that?
Well, yeah, for quality of the player, for charisma, for how dangerous it also. And then he was scoring decisive goals in specific games. And he won with Spain the World Cup and the Euro Cup. I mean, you have everything from a defender like this. He's so strong in the defense, personality, and even bad guy sometimes. When you need it, he's a bad guy. So that kind of players is unique for your team.
Now, it's interesting you bring up the bad guy line, because our colleague Steve Nicols is not a fan of Sergio Ramos because of his discipline issues, because he's got sent off more than any other player in the history of La Liga. He's saying you can't be a world-class defender if you find yourself in situations where you get so many red cards.
But it changed a lot in the last years. You know, when he was young, it was different from my point of view. Now, you want to show off too much sometimes. I agree. I agree. But in the big game, he didn't miss the big game. To be honest, it doesn't.
No, Real Madrid have got a big void to fill there. As Ali says, not just his skill on the pitch, but his leadership as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to miss. It's very interesting to see where he goes. Does he go back to Sevilla? Does he make the move to PSG? Where's he going to go?
Where do you stand on the world-class discussion?
I think he is world class.
Right,
absolutely.
What
do you mean?
No, he's been a world class player.
Well, everything Ali said. He's a world class player. He's a world class leader.
But Stevie,
he's won every trophy in the bag. No one's got a CV like him.
No. But Stevie is a.
But Stevie's coming from an era where you could tackle people 25 times and wouldn't be sent off.
But Stevie is a top defender for Liverpool. No,
what he's saying essentially, he's got a point. Well, he's got a point. What he was saying essentially, when you look at his discipline, when you look at the amount of red cards, you go, yeah, Stevie's got a point. But in the modern day, it takes 2 tackles and you're off the pitch.
He's been a brilliant player, but not necessarily the best defender. If you look at the great Italian defenders, not too long ago, Baresi and Maldini, Costa Curta, and all these guys, right? One, they generally had themselves in a good position, and 2, if they're in a bad position, they generally didn't then dive in. I'm not saying they never made mistakes, but most of their defensive decisions, if I think back to these guys playing, were particularly Maldini.
Yeah, but for some reason, what I'm saying, for some reason, you can compare Sergio Ramos with the best defender that you had in the last 20 years. Because who can be better than him?
Sure.
I mean, I had Cannavaro, Nesta, to be honest, that could be the same level. You know, you have Pujol, but not many that have that CV, that personality, and that charisma inside the team. Maybe.
See, this is a roundabout argument.
No, but he's one of them. He's one of them where fans absolutely hate him, but every true fan would want him in your side.
Right.
Every single one of them. Liverpool, City. When he was in his prime, fans can't stand him because he's got a character and he gets sent off and he's got a voice and he's got an opinion. But every true fan would want him in your starting 11 because he's a winner. And if it takes getting sent off to win a cup final, he would do it.
It is a kind of no-win, no-lose argument, because I can see what Stevie gets frustrated having watched him. But he played with Hansen and Lawrenson at Liverpool in the glory 80s that were fantastic readers of the game. Ramos does make a lot of rash decisions, but his career has been magnificent. But that doesn't mean. Look, he's not the best one-on-one defender there's ever been, right? He's just not.
I think you're being harsh.
He was initially a right back.
Yeah.
He initially started as a full back, and then he moved back.
I think you're being harsh.
I'm not being harsh. I'm not.
You can't knock what he's won.
I'm not knocking what he's done.
Ash.
Isn't he?
You're being
Gosh,
mean.
isn't he?
You're being mean.
I'm not knocking what Sergio Ramos has done. I'm talking about how Stevie perceives him.
But
and Stevie does not
Stevie's
think...
coming from an era where there was no red cards ever in the 80s. No one got sent off in the 80s.
Away from the 80s, looking at Juventus, someone like Juventus now, would that be a good move for Sergio Ramos to go to Italy and play somewhere there on a free? Or would it be more of a PSG kind of role?
Well, to be honest, PSG is more attractive in this specific moment, you know,
right.
and more potential, because when you won everything like he did, when you had the armband of Real Madrid, one of the best teams in the world, what are you looking for? You're looking for even more glory, probably.
Right.
You're looking for a big contract, but you're looking for something that is more in something that it's. So become a king in Italy, yes, could be, and bring back the Champions League that is missing for ages, you know, and that did you beat the Juve in the final, or go in a place where they never win that things, and then play with Neymar and Mbappe.
Depends how you see it, doesn't it? You know, you see yesterday that Buffon's gone to Serie B to play for Parma.
Yeah.
43. I think it's amazing. So it depends how Sergio Ramos sees it. Does he want to go back to Sevilla? I guess not. I think I'm with Ali. I think he goes to a PSG who've gone back-to-back semi-finals and want to go one more step and try and win the thing.
One thing
Did you say go to Juventus?
Yeah.
Well, how many old defenders do you think they need?
Well, no, I know that's true.
That's why I say
Holy smokes.
I don't see that move.
Do you know what I'd love?
Smart.
Let's
Go
get
to
him,
Liverpool.
Let's get him to Liverpool.
Yeah, I know, just watch Stevie
where
cry.
Stevie will have to then admit that he likes him.
Just
Exactly.
One last point on Ramos, and what was interesting there, how emotional he was, obviously. 14 years at the club, won everything, club captain. Like, you had similar experience, 19 years at the same club. What is that, Craig's in the shout because I'm talking about emotions. It's just a club. Like, what's that like? What's the emotions like on that day when you finally realise that you're not a player of a club where you've spent half your life?
Yeah, first of all, you got lost. This is what happened to me. You got lost because for me, 19 years is all my career, you know. And with Juve, I've been through everything. We won everything. We went down in relegation, then we came up again. So it's part of my life. It's most of the part of my life. And that things, you know, you got lost because you say, well, what's going to happen next? And where I'm going and what I'm going to find that place, you know? Because I have some habits.
Look where you've ended up.
You really got
where I end up, you know.
Next
Exactly.
What a result.
Come on, this is the result after 19 years, you know, spending time with you guys. I'm joking, but it's very emotional, you know. Everybody is different, you know, but that moment is very emotional because you go back in time and see everything that happened in your life. And now play football in this era, you know, even more than before, you're fully involved in what happened in the club.
Right.
You're fully involved during the day. You represent your club every single moment, even in the vacation, and even when you're home with your school, with social media, you are online all the time. That's what I mean. So it's even more now, probably.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.